Who are these Texans offensively under their new offensive coordinator, Jason Bristol, Luis Ortiz at the Houston Methodist Training Center? Luis, the next few weeks we are going to find out the identity of this Texans offense.
All eyes are on the Texans offense, right? That's the million-dollar question. Who are they offensively? New offensive coordinator Nick Caley, and all of the guys talking to them, they repeat the same thing. He's exciting, he's very energetic.
And they're excited.
Yes, they're excited because he says Nick Caley's putting the ball in the hands of the playmakers.
What excites me most about Caley's offense is that it's evolving and it's being tailored toward the Houston Texans and the guys that we have on our roster. So what excites me the most is not just copy and paste from other places that he's been, and he's been very successful at other places, but he's been very, very thorough with the installation process of where do we want to put our guys, what position, what's the best spot for our guys to be in. So you look at it through that lens, it's going to be about the Houston Texans. And that's what I love most about the offense, is him being able to be adaptable and put our guys where they need to be.
What's impressed you about Nick Chubb thus far? Do you think he has a little chip on his shoulder at all going into the season after the injuries?
Yeah, with Nick Chubb, very happy to have him with us. Anytime I think guy gets, another opportunity, another place, you're going to have that chip on your shoulder. And I think it's just Nick has done it in the league for a long time, so I'm happy to have him. It's excited to see him just continue to gel with our guys. We got him late there in OTA, so just be a matter of him continuing to gel with the guys in the locker room and just do what he does and run the football, play football the way he plays football. It's impressive to watch.
Unlike your offense, your defense has basically been here for the past 2 years schematically. So how much has that helped you guys, as you guys start in training camp, to know that the majority of your defense kind of knows and understands what you're looking for?
To me, every year I start over. So the previous 2 years, whatever that looks like, it doesn't matter to me, because every year we have to reinvent ourselves. We have to create and mold and grow to see what the 2025 Texans will look like. Just because the defense has been successful in the past, they've done a good job, that doesn't just guarantee success today. You got to go work at it. You got to grind at it. You got to put the work in, and that's what it's about. So we'll see what those guys become.
We'll take a few more.
Go ahead, Ken.
Talk about a little bit about yourself. You were honored in your hometown with the school. What that was like. What that meant to you.
And for me, this summer, being able to have the honor of getting a street named after me, the street I grew up on, I would say that's the biggest honor I could receive. It's one of the coolest honors to be back there on my home street and to see the sign up with my name on it. I'm just thankful to my parents, my mom and dad, for just their hard work and sacrifice. I know what it took for them to even be able to purchase a house way back when. And so I'm thankful for them, the work, what they've shown me. My parents taught me all about hard work, and that's what I believe in now as a coach. It doesn't change. My dad worked as an aircraft mechanic. He's a Vietnam vet. My mom worked cleaning in the cleaning business for a while. So it was just tough labor, tough work, and that's what I learned from my mom and dad. So for me, that honor, it says more so it's about them and who they raised, and me just emulating them and what they shown me.
How important is the offensive line success and progression to the offense in general?
When it comes to the offensive line success, the offensive success, it'll never change. It's about all 11 guys is working together, and I know there's a ton of questions about the O-line. We'll continue to grow. Our guys they'll be where they need to be. They'll do their job. They'll handle it the right way. But we'll see how everything shapes out. But it starts with just the mindset and the intent. Our coaches have done a great job of putting the work in there. Our players are doing a great job putting the work in. Now it's just a matter of when we snap the ball, right, on game day, whenever that is, we just got to go do it. It's not going to be about the talking. It's just going to be about us showing you. And I know I'm going to get a ton of questions about the offensive line and what it looks like. Like, you guys will see what it looks like when we line up across from another team and we get a chance to actually compete in live reps. Me talking to you is probably not going to convince anybody here. You're going to keep asking me questions. I'm not going to convince you I can't do a good enough job. Right? It hasn't changed, but we'll see what it looks like, man. I'm excited about the group. because I know they'll be better.
Coach,
Take these last three.
What have you, throughout the course of your last 2 years, what have you learned about yourself as a coach?
What I learned about myself is, man, for me, and something I always believed in, is it's never rinse and repeat. It's always, you got to redefine yourself. Our game is always evolving. It's always changing. So for me as a coach, is how do I continue to keep up with the trends? How do I put myself in a position to be a better leader? And that comes with delegating more, giving other guys more opportunities to grow. For me, stepping aside and allowing guys to be the leaders, grow their leadership style and develop. That's my job as a head coach, is not only to develop players, which I love doing, but is also to develop our coaches and our support staff. And that's what I learned. I'm trying to do a better job of that.
Your growth on and off the field as you head into your third season?
Yeah, I feel like I've grown a lot, just spiritually, physically, mentally. So I'm just, grateful to have, a coach like D'Amico who promotes that, and then, family and friends who support it, and teammates as well. So I feel like I've grown a lot.
CJ, what do you expect from yourself in year 3?
I just want consistent wins, and not just like on the scoreboard or just on the field. Of course, that's very important, but just in life. So just consistently winning.
What is different about your off-season this year than it was after your year?
I just kind of knew more, knew how much time I actually had or how little time we had, and just kind of plan things better. And, it's only my second off season, so it's not really like something that you just know what to do. So still got a lot to learn, but yeah, I feel like I just planned better and just spent my time intentionally, either if it was training or spending time away. So just being more intentional.
When it comes to this offense, you guys have talked about you getting more, having more on your plate, especially at the line of scrimmage. Does that give you more ownership of the offense maybe than you would have had in the past versus just kind of getting a play and going out and doing that?
Yeah, I mean, this is more of a, quarterback's offense where, you're IDing, you're calling the shots, you're switching protections if you need. And it's really like just me in the center. So if that's J-Pat or Juice, got to have good communication with those guys and, relay to everybody else what's going on. So, Nick is doing a great job teaching us stats. So is Jerry and Gerard. So, it's a lot more ownership.
When you do have that ownership, does it help you as a leader grow in that role as well, with that ownership?
Yeah, I think it's an opportunity to grow there. I think every year, as a leadership role, I can learn a little more. I think that gives me another edge where, guys, if you change a player or do something good, guys are okay, we can trust this guy. So that definitely helps leadership.
CJ, what have you learned from the vintage Tom Brady stuff, the 2003, 2004 stuff that you've watched? And have you ever talked to Tom, that you've met him before, obviously know him, but about kind of what you're doing, or Nick Haley or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, those clips are always great to watch, somebody do it, and at such a high level, just he's not like physically, imposing his will, but he just mentally, whooping guys, playing and play out. So that's something that I definitely, want to get to that. But like you said, they started back in 2000, 2001, 2003. So, it's been a long time. It's been the same offense. So this is my first year. It's not going to be what I watch on film yet, but, I, am sure that one day it will. And I haven't talked to him, but I'm sure if he did, he would have some advice. But
You've got some additions to the team this year. Is there somebody you're excited about that you're really excited to have on?
Yeah, I mean, there's pretty much everybody, but I like the two rookies, Jalen and Jaden. They've come in with a great mindset, really mature guys who love to work, consistently here at the building or, working with me in the off season. So, I'm really excited to see those guys' growth and see them, take a step forward each and every day. And it's not going to be perfect for those guys, but I think they're going to make a lot of plays, and I'm excited to see.
How difficult is it for you? Go ahead, John.
Speaking of that, the front office is really investing in the wide receiver group and the offensive line. What did you make of that, and what do you hope that could do for the offense?
Yeah, I mean, I think, just like, anything in life, you got to, if that's time, if that's people, if that's just personal things, you got to invest into it. So I think, I'm grateful, that we're trying to, fix things and get things squared away. And, I'm trying to lift those guys up every day. So I think it's very important, and, I'm excited and happy we did that.
Hey, we have Nico and Will soon, so just a few more.
CJ, how difficult is it for you as a quarterback? Not only are you learning a new offensive system, but there is different offensive linemen now, different pieces on there. How difficult is it for you to have to
I don't think it's. I'm kind of a people person, so like, I think I'm a plug and play guy. Like I can relate to anybody at any time, so I think that helps with me on the field. So, the new guys who are here, I think I meshed with them pretty well, and we've hung out off the field and seen each other out and things like that. So, I think I'll be fine in that area and just try to keep building those relationships.
On those same lines, the surroundings have obviously changed. Last year you said you wanted to emphasize controlling what you can control. What are some of those things that you can control that aren't necessarily surroundings?
As in, like,
just you said you wanted to control what you could control. What can you control better this year?
my attitude, my play, my communication. I think those are some things just I can control. So I'll try to do that as best as I can.
Did you not like the way they went down last year?
No, I did. I think we won some games and went to the playoffs and did some great things. So yeah, everybody's different personalities, different people. So you got to adjust on what people like. And for me, my job is being a servant. So trying to serve others. So yeah.
What's the biggest
Last one, y'all.
you and the players so far?
I'm sorry.
The dynamic with Nick Haley and you and the rest of the players.
Yeah, Nick is a fiery young coach who like loves to yell and run around, and and I love it. He brings juice to the building every day. So I'm excited just to work with him every day and try to build a relationship. And he's done a good job of just relating to the players and always asking us what we want, how we want to do things, and making it player own. So I love that of him.
Having said that,
CJ, what's the biggest thing you learned last season that you think will help you to be more successful this year?
That's a great question. There's a bunch of things, but if I can probably narrow it down to one, I would say just trust the process. It's not about what people think, who people think you are, what they think you are, or when they think you should do it. It's all about your process and how you're going to go about it. And if God's happy, if your teammates are happy, and yourself, I think then you're good. So I think that's trusting the process, whatever that is, if that's good or bad during the time, is trusting what the coaches are doing and everybody around me. So thank you guys.
and of course, everything starts up front, right? With that offensive line today, we saw various lineups, you can call it, right? They switched it up several times. Too early to tell who will be those starting five.
Yeah, the combinations, they were mixing guys up from what we saw in minicamp. Yep. Also, some housekeeping. As far as Jimmy Ward goes, the Texans say they're going to let the legal process play out. Of course, Jimmy Ward is accused of choking and threatening to kill a woman. He was not on the field because he is on the physically unable to perform list.
Yeah, kind of working through that. I mean, kind of let the legal process kind of take care of itself. We've been in contact with the league. We'll work with the league. We'll be compliant on our end. We'll do the best we can. So I think it's day to day, but kind of let that process kind of take care of itself, and whatever the outcome is, we'll handle it accordingly.
Nick, the Texans have never had a guy with Damon Arnett's arrest record. What went into the thought process of signing him?
Yeah, sure. I mean, a lot of thought goes into it, a lot of conversation. I think you take all the information into consideration. You go through a pretty extensive vetting process, which we did. So I think where Damon is now relative to where he was earlier in his career is at a different point. And you just are honest about those conversations. I think Damon's trying to do the right things, try to put himself in a position to take advantage of his opportunities. We're inclined, and if we feel it's appropriate, to give somebody a second chance. We'll see how it goes. I mean, Damon's got to earn his opportunity, but he's been good to work with. He's had a good attitude. He's had a good approach. So we've always taken the approach, regardless of what's happened in the past, regardless of how grave or the gravity of the situation or what it is, understand what it is. And then when a player walks in our building, they kind of have a clean slate and they're starting from scratch. So, I think it's important just to be honest. Had conversations with the McNairs and about his situation. So I'm not trying to hide anything. So we just kind of take it case by case and try to do the best we can with the information, the opportunities that are in front of us. Yeah, Jimmy's here. He reported for training camp, so he's around. So physically wasn't going to be able to do much anyways. So kind of take it day by day, and we'll see what the outcome is.
What's the approach with Joe missing? Obviously, the season's a long way away to get him back in. Just your thoughts on the team potentially having Joe?
Yeah, I'd say a lot of players. I mean, it's really every player is a little bit different. So whatever their situation is, wherever they are medically, we kind of take it one day at a time. We're not going to put any timetables on anything, so we'll deal with it. We have 90 players that are here. Some are able to practice, some aren't. At some point, they'll be able to practice. So as far as what it looks like once the regular season starts, probably a long way away from that. So I think it's important for everybody to go out here and kind of establish their level of play, their performance, take advantage of their opportunities. This camp is going to be about competition. That's what it's going to be about. The roster will kind of sort itself out, but like I mentioned a little bit earlier, 20 practices, 3 preseason games, try to get a good evaluation of the players we feel we need to get evaluation of, and then put ourselves into position really with the focus. Again, the Rams are one of the best football teams in the league, so it's going to be a big challenge in front of us. We understand what that is, so there's kind of a balance of got to get the team ready, but also kind of have our sights set in front of us with the first opponent, which will be a significant challenge for sure.
Nick, where do you stand with the offensive line? You feel pretty confident in it?
Yeah, we have a number of players here with varying levels of experience. We've talked about that, so training camp will really be a good opportunity for us to evaluate. Be a lot of competition. Games are won and lost on the fronts. So, you look across the league. So, and you build your mental and physical toughness, your physical play in training camp. So, once the pads come on, we'll have a better idea of what that looks like, what that entails. But it's been a good group to work with. They've had a good attitude. They work hard. They're coachable, varying levels of experience. Cole's done a great job with that group. So, we'll put the 5 best out there. And like I said, we'll have 8 at the game each week. How many we carry on the roster, we'll always do what we think is best for the team.
Nico talked about wanting to change the culture in that room quite a bit in the offseason with the mindset in there. Do you feel like you did that? Like, what says that you did that? How do you feel you did it?
Yeah, we'll see. In the end, offensive line play is about attitude and it's about physical toughness. So, and being able to do, you got to be able to do certain number of things to, I would say, a competitive enough level. So, we'll find out. Again, we have young players, we have veteran players. I think they have the right mindset. So honestly, it starts with Cole and kind of trickles down. But in the end, it's about the players and them relying on one another, them pushing one another, and being able to go out there and perform. The offensive line, really, it's about 5 players kind of playing as a unit. There's a lot of things that are involved. There's essentially communication on every play. Where's the mic identification? Who we push into? Where are the problems? Does everybody see the picture the same way? So everything kind of goes inside out, so relative to the communication. So we'll kind of see what that looks like. Understand each week's going to be a different challenge from the defense. Who we see what our defense does is going to be different than what the Rams do. So it's just understanding where the problems are, get the information communicated appropriately, and making sure we're getting the blockers distributed appropriately. There are going to be times where the defense wins, and there are going to be times where we win. So hopefully we're on the positive side of the ledger more often than not. So we'll see how it goes in training camp. Excited for that group. It's a good group, so we'll let the competition kind of sort itself out.
On the new system, the new offensive system, I know when they hired Bobby, it was kind of like a learning experience for you. You said you were learning a lot about the new system. How does your familiarity with what Kaylee does change the way maybe you are as like an asset on the offense?
Not necessarily. I'll try to stay out of the way, so just try to have an understanding of what we're trying to accomplish. Offensive football in the end, it's about 3 things. It's about moving the ball, it's about scoring points, and it's about taking care of the football. So you can put whatever system you want to put on the field. That's what offensive football is about. And if you win 3-2, that's a good outcome. If you win 50-49, that's a good outcome. If you run the ball 40 times in a game and win, that's a good outcome. You have to throw it 50 times, so I think the big thing is what do we got to do each week relative to the opponent. That's what offensive football comes down to. So, again, my experience doesn't necessarily have any relevance to where we are now. We're about the 2025 Texans offense, what that looks like, and we'll find out here in training camp. We'll get a little more information. And in the end, it's about going out there and being able to move the ball and score points.
What do you like about that combination of Kirk and Higgins, bringing both of those guys for CJ Stroud here?
Yeah, Kirk's got a lot of experience. He's been a productive player with his opportunities, when he's been healthy and available. So very professional, very smart. He's not just an inside the formation player, has some position flexibility. Higgins, he's a young player. We think he has some traits and attributes that we like, which is why we drafted him. So he's got a lot of work in front of him. So he's going to face some challenges like most young players do, but I would say overall, collectively, that group, really good attitude. They're emblematic of kind of the team. I think we got a number of players on this team that are focused on work and kind of let their actions do the talking. Because in the end, everybody can talk and say, what's going to happen. We can do this. We want that to happen. But in the end, it's going to come down to the work. It's going to come down to our actions on the field, and it's going to come down to our execution. So, we feel pretty good about that group. I think we have pretty good depth. So, kind of let the competition sort itself out.
See anything different with CJ Stroud in his preparation throughout this offseason? And what's your hope for what he can become as a quarterback?
Yeah, CJ's had a good offseason. Our expectations for him are no different than every other player. Just be the best you can be each day. Go out there and try to do the job to the best of your ability. If everybody does that and collectively as a team, we're going to be in a pretty good spot. So, again, this program, and D'Amico has said it, I've said it, it's not about one player. It's not about one individual. It's not about one position. We're going to need everybody at some point to do their job, and the better they can do to prepare themselves for the rigors of the season, the better off we're all going to be. We'll take one in the back there. Yep.
Out of the free agent acquisitions and the draft, you're going to feel like this team is in a position to take the next step now.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the next step is. We have a good football team, so we've been one of the best 8 teams in the league the last 2 years. So what's going to happen beyond that? Nobody has any idea. I don't have any idea. Nobody else has any idea. Anybody that says they do is probably wrong. So can we put ourselves in a position each week to give ourselves an opportunity to win? What the end result is, honestly, we're focused on the work, we're focused on the process, and that's not going to change. So you have to put a significant amount of time and energy and effort into developing your foundation, building your football team up. And in the end, it's about what happens on Sunday. So, the focus is going to be on the Rams. Anything beyond that, honestly, it's a big waste of time. So I don't spend much time on it. D'Amico doesn't spend much time on it. We're not going to spend much time on it. That's for you all to talk about outside the building.
Yeah, and some other prominent names that didn't practice today: Joe Mixon, Damian Pierce, Danico Autry, and also Christian Harris.
So that is the story here on day 1 of Texans training camp. And of course, they and we will be doing this all over again tomorrow.